Hey explorers, Brian here, and welcome back to Southeastern Europe. We're happy to have you, and so are the Southeastern Europeans. You see, the area known as the Balkans has historically gotten a bad rap. In spite of a turbulent 20th century, there are reasons for optimism. Beautiful sights, welcoming locals, and great food. Just look at what's cooking for you. Yes, that's octopus, a delicacy in Croatia and other coastal countries. Our lesson objective today is to analyze the people and culture of the nations of Southeastern Europe and examine their population statistics, ethnicity, religion, language, government, and economics. Enjoying that octopus yet? Let's whet your appetite for more of the delicacies and delights, Turkish delights, that is, in Southeastern Europe. Overview. To refresh your memory, Southeastern Europe includes Albania, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Kosovo, Moldova, and Turkey. And Transnistria. We'll get to that later. It's truly a fascinating place because it's where European and Western Asian culture and history meet. People and population. Turkey has by far the largest population in the region, with 84.3 million people. But don't forget, Turkey is mostly in Asia. So among countries completely in Europe, Romania is the most populous at 19.2 million. Some of the smaller nations have 2 million or fewer people. Tiny Moldova has the highest population density, as its 4 million people enjoy their cozy confines to the tune of 318 people per square mile. Most countries in the region fall within the range of 170 to 270 people per square mile. And as with the rest of Europe, fertility rates are down. Combine that with low levels of immigration and the population is decreasing, down 20% or more in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Bulgaria since 1990. There's a lower urban population rate here than in much of Europe, but it may not seem like it if you visit Istanbul. Yeah, it's a doozy. Over 15 million people live there. Since its days as a medieval empire of trade and capital of the Byzantine Empire, people have flocked to this bicontinental city for commerce, culture, and coffee. All in all, there are 4 cities of over 1 million residents in Southeastern Europe. In general, lives are a bit shorter here than in other European countries. Most are in the 76 to 77 age range, while Moldova, one of the poorer countries of Europe, is the lowest at just under 72. Countries emerging from communism tend to have shorter life expectancies, which leads us to our next section: politics and economy. As with other former Soviet states, many countries here have struggled to transition from communism to democracy. Nowadays, most of the region's governments are parliamentary democracies which utilize market economies and rely on trade. Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece, and Romania are part of the European Union, while others are seeking entrance into the EU. However, while many of these countries have surface-level democratic processes, political parties in some places have been linked to organized crime, and some governments, Turkey in particular, have been criticized for stifling political expression by their citizens. In addition to Kosovo, which broke off from Serbia in 2008, divisions exist within other countries. A small breakaway state called Transnistria is located on the border of Moldova and Ukraine. It's composed mostly of ethnic Russians and Ukrainians and desires independence from Moldova, but is not recognized by any UN member state. Despite its history and these current challenges, Southeastern Europe is a somewhat peaceful place to live. Most countries rank towards the middle of the 161 states measured on the Global Peace Index. Romania and Bulgaria are 2 standouts, ranking 21st and 31st respectively. On the other hand, Turkey is way down at 142nd, plagued by terrorism, a record of alleged human rights violations, and unrest over government repression. Despite this, Turkish locals are widely considered to be hospitable and welcoming to visitors. The market economies of these countries, like their governments, are experiencing growing pains. Overall, the region falls well below the European GDP per capita average of 34,000 US dollars. Greece is the highest at 17,000, but gained notoriety in the early 2010s for having major government debt that necessitated a bailout by the EU. 8 of the 12 countries have per capita GDPs under 10,000 US dollars. The lower GDPs show that these economies are still in the development phase. Many rely heavily on agriculture, with over 15% of Moldova and Albania's GDP coming from farming, indicating limited economic modernization. So here's some good news. Tourism is on the rise, and if you take a trip to Southeastern Europe, you're bound to fall in love with the food, dance, and architecture. So let's learn more in our final section, Culture. At the convergence point of European and Asian culture, it should come as no surprise that this is a very diverse region, and it's been that way for a long time. In 395, the Christian Byzantine Empire began as an eastern outpost of the Roman Empire in modern-day Istanbul. It was overtaken by Muslims, and thus the cultures were indelibly blended. Today, Christians are divided between Eastern Orthodoxy and Roman Catholicism. Islam is the largest religion in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, Kosovo, and Turkey. Multiple groups of ethnic Jews have also historically inhabited the territory. Ethnic and language groups may be even more varied. Slavic and Romance languages make up most of the region's tongues, while Albanian, Greek, and Turkish are unrelated. And even within countries, there exists a heterogeneous mix of ethnicities and languages. Croatian is not only spoken in Croatia, but also by Croats in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia. In Montenegro, there are more Serbian speakers than Montenegrin speakers. In North Macedonia, 25% of the population speaks Albanian. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, only half the population speaks Bosnian, instead using Serbian or Croatian. And throughout the entire region, there is a significant ethnic minority of Romani people, a traditionally nomadic group originating from northern India, who speak the Romani language. Confused? That's okay, food can help. Picture sitting in an outdoor cafe. You hear the faint sound of a church bell and then a call to prayer at a mosque. You just downed a strong coffee and a Turkish delight, and now you smell your meal arriving. Where are you? Well, this scene plays out in countless cafes across southeastern Europe. Traditionally, meat was only for the wealthy, so many vegetarian meals are available, including gevek soup. Today, meat dishes are widely available and cooked in a pot called a sash with many spices, making even an ordinary piece of lamb or beef dance across your palate. Today, your classic Balkan meal is cevapi, grilled sausages with aymar, a flavorful roasted red pepper sauce. Of course, when you go to the coastal areas of Croatia, Greece, and Turkey, you'll get some of the best seafood in the world. Before you leave, have some dessert. You can choose between baklava and halva, and, of course, a cup of tea to finish, accompanied by rakia, a strong liquor distilled from fruit. You're not the only one who's been enjoying the food. Turkey attracts over 50 million tourists per year, 6th most in the world. They come to Istanbul to see the Hagia Sophia, pictured here. It dates back to the year 537 and is now a Muslim house of worship or mosque. In addition, the Blue Mosque and the Grand Bazaar are popular locations as well. Over 31 million people per year visit Greece, 8th highest in Europe. They are not only there for the sun-soaked islands of Santorini and Mykonos, but to see the Acropolis of Athens. It features the most famous buildings of ancient Greece, notably the Parthenon, a temple to Athena. So that wraps up our trip to Southeastern Europe. Are you ready for your visit? You're not the only one, and that's a big reason for optimism in these small emerging countries. Now, if you had any preconceived notions about the Balkans region, well, hopefully this has opened your eyes a bit. And that's really what exploration is all about, isn't it? So, that's why we'll sign off by saying, keep exploring. Hey!